Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to see how I can write the bin definition for bank.java. So to write the bin definition for bank.java, we'll go to the Java configuration file and here we'll start writing the bin definition. You can see here we have the bin definition for customer which I created in a previous session. Today we are going to create the bin definition for bank.java. So for that, we will create one method and this method which I am going to create, this must be the parameterized method. Might be you can ask the question why now I'm going to create the parameterized method. So let me tell you that. First, let me write some method name. So I'm saying create bank. And as you know, this is the bin definition which I'm going to write. This is for the bank.java or this bin definition I'm going to write for the bank bin. So the return type for this method must be the bank. So that also I can write. Now here I need to pass some parameters. Now what parameter I can pass and why I was not passing the parameter for the while writing the bin definition for customer, that I'm going to explain you now. So if you go to this customer class or customer bin, you can see this customer bin is not dependent on any other bin. This customer bin is only depend on some of the data member. One is the name and other is the phone number. But this customer bin is not depending on any of the other bins or any of the other classes. If your class or bin does not depend on any other bin or does not depend on any other class, then you have to create a method that will be the non-parameterized method. And due to that reason, while writing the bin definition for customer, I created a non-parameterized method. For the bank bin, if you'll come to this bank bin, here you can see this bank bin depend on one of the another bin and the bin name is nothing but customer. So if my bin depend on any other bin, in that case, we have to create the parameterized method and what parameter I can pass. So we have to pass the same bin name on which this bank is dependent. So since this bank dependent on the customer, I'm going to pass the parameter as a customer inside my method. The method name is create bank. So here you can pass the parameter as a customer and then this is a now you can see this is the parameterized method and I'm passing one of the parameter is nothing but customer. Okay, if suppose my bank depend on more than one bin, then what I will do, I have to create a method with all the parameter value. I mean to say, suppose this bin depend on two bins, so I will create a method with I will create a two parameterized method. I mean to say, here I will pass one more parameters. Okay, I will pass one more parameter, but in the current scenario this bank bin depend on only one bin, that is the customer, and due to that reason I created one parameterized method. Now we have to write the bin definition, and before that, yeah, we have to write the one annotation here, and that is the bin annotation. If you forget to write the bin definition, then this class, this method will not get registered as a bin class, or this bank will not get registered as a bin class inside the container. So make sure you will not miss this annotation. Otherwise, the Spring will not consider this as a bin method, or bin. They will not register this as a bin class. They will treat as a normal method. They will not give any extra privilege, or they will not give any extra treatment for this method. Okay, so make sure if you want to register any method as a, if you want to write the bin definition for any of the bin, you will use the notation. The notation is nothing but at that bin. Now I have to create the object for bank. How I can do that? So I'm simply going to create the bank b equal to new bank, and here we have the parameterized constructor. So I'm going to pass the parameter. What parameter I can pass? So same what I have here. Now one more thing I can tell you here. I want to tell you. So this customer, this CU, this CU later I can write CU. So this CU is hold. This CU will hold the value of this customer. This CU will hold the value of the customer. I mean to say, whatever the value are going to return from this from this method, that value will contain by this CU. So CU indirectly holding the bin definition for the customer, or they are pointing, they are holding the object of the customer, I can say. So whatever I have mentioned here, that is going to pass inside this CU value. Okay. Now here still you can see still I'm getting the compile time error. And why? Because we have to write the return statement. So let me write the return statement for here. And what we can return here. So we have to return the object for the bank. I'm going to return that. So here you can see this B, I'm not performing any operation on this B. So instead of writing inside this two line, what I can do, I will comment the line number 22, and better I can create the object while returning the state on the return statement itself. So here only we can write the return statement, and we'll create the object and we'll return the object for the bank itself in the one line. No need to write in the two lines. Now after creating the bin definition, now I want to check this class is getting registered with the container or not as a bin class. So if this class will get registered as a bin class with container, then this method will get called by the container, and if this method will get called, then the object for the bank will get created, and if the object for the bank will get created, then somehow you can see this message will get print. What message? So bank constructor message will print. If this message is getting printed, it means that we can say that this bank bin is also getting registered with the container as a bin class. Now let me run this. So to run this, we have to come to the lab2.java, and here what I can do, I'll just do the right click, and then I will run as a Java application. So you can see I'm running this as a Java application, and once I'm running this program, so the first message, Spring container is ready to start. This is coming from here, and once in the next line I'm trying to create the object for the container, or I'm trying to start the container. Once the container will get start, the container will go to the container will come to this configuration file, and from this configuration file they will start reading the bin definition. And the bin definition, here you can see now we have two bin definition, one for the customer, other for the bank. So they will start reading the bin definition in the same sequence, in the sequence of which I'm writing. I mean to say, first they will read this bin definition, and then they will read this bin definition one by one. So here this next two message which is printing on the console, these two message is printing because this customer is also getting registered with the container as a bin class, and the message which you can see on the console, default customer constructor, that is getting printed from here, and the other message, that is a set name method for the name, that is also printing from this class itself. This is the message printing, and this part I discussed in some of the previous session. If you have any doubt, I will suggest you please go through that video. Now coming to again to this configuration file, here if you'll see, now I will have to discuss about this bin definition. So here this method is getting called by the container, and once this method is getting called by the container, they are trying to once this method will get called by the container, then what will happen? Somehow the object will get created for the bank, and once the object is getting created by the bank, then you can see here this message is getting printed. One more point I want to explain here. So if you'll come to this configuration file, you can see here for this bank bin, I'm just writing the annotation as at that bin, but here I'm not passing any name value for this bin. Here if you'll see this customer bin definition, here I was passing some name, but in this bank bin definition I'm not passing any name. So if you will not pass a name, as I said earlier also, this is the optional field, and if you will not pass any name, then what container will do? Container will check what is your method name, and with this method name only, they will create one ID, and they will assign this ID, or this ID will associate with this bin definition. I mean to say, in future, if you want the object for this bank bin, then you have to pass the ID as a create bank, and then you can get the object from the container. If you try to pass any other ID, and you want to get the object for the bank, then the container will throw you some exception and say, hey, I'm not able to find any bin associated with this ID or associated with this name. Okay. So how I can get the object from the bin, and how I can get the object from the bin, that I'm going to show in the next video.